Hi everyone, my name is Shannon. I'm an online entrepreneur and blogger, and I'm really excited to share with you my first video series, Journey to Purpose. So in this series, I'll be bringing out people that are living their life with purpose, that are loving every minute of their life, and getting them to share their experiences and their insight for those that are a little bit further down the journey of living with purpose. So I hope you enjoy this series. I hope you enjoy this episode. Have a wonderful day. Hi everyone, welcome to my first video of the Journey to Purpose series. I'm super excited to have David Diehl with me here today. David is actually a member of my Facebook group Upwards for Our Lifestyle, and I was really inspired by his attitude and his story, so I'm really excited to bring him out today and to get his experiences on what it means to live with purpose for him. So David is actually a life coach, he's a motivational speaker and also an investor. So he has a lot on his plate and a lot of cool things to share. So David, do you just want to share a little bit about yourself, your journey so far, and what businesses you're currently working on?
You bet. Thank you so much. So a lot of what I've been able to do over the last 10 years or so has been, just starting different companies. From a young age, I was always interested in business. About 8, I started doing like my first lemonade stand.
Oh, wow.
And started just really jumping into the business world.
Yeah.
By about 15, I had a window washing business that I started doing. I was probably doing about 20,000 a year at 15,
Oh my gosh.
just working summers, because I
Wow.
had a lot of stuff going on with school. I was still in junior high at that point.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of stemmed from there. I got into a lot of different industries, a lot of different companies, started a solar company, started an app development company.
Wow.
Through the journey, we had lots of investment capital. We had, one of our startups, we had about 700,000 that we had raised from different investors.
Mm-hmm.
And I eventually had to step away from that because of the situation that it had created.
Yeah.
We had some different attitudes and mentality that people had. And it was just like, I don't want to see you guys lose money. So I've got to step away from this event.
Yeah.
However, the coolest part about business and entrepreneurship is what you can learn and grow and develop in yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing is one of the things I've learned from a lot of my mentors is how can you add value to the people that you are working with? How can you,
definitely.
instead of selling a product, the way that you work with people is you add value.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really been the focus that I've had over the last couple of years. And currently right now, I started a vending franchise not long ago, which is kind of a funny, it's just where, one of the things as an investor that I look for is automated business or real estate investment.
Mm-hmm.
So I've bought and flipped properties. I've bought little companies here and there. And this little vending machine business, believe it or not, it'll gross about 30,000 this year. And I've got 5 machines, so it's one of those things where, as you start to become educated, that's probably the other key that I would recommend to anybody really looking to become an entrepreneur is become educated in that industry, in that niche.
Yeah.
The more so that you do, the better competitive advantage that you're going to have on the marketplace. So it's just been a lot of fun. Like you'd mentioned, I do a lot of investing now. I coach a lot of people and work with them to find different investment strategies. I help them through coaching one-on-one and help them get started in business. I've been able to speak at different companies and organizations to just, from a motivational aspect as well as, here's the real tips and tricks of how to get in your business and get started with it.
Cool. So it sounds like you're involved in lots of different things, but really your purpose would be just to give value back to people and give back to people to enable them to live their life to the fullest.
Correct.
Really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
And you talked about it, I'm sure you'll get into it, but my purpose, and really how I came to find what my purpose is coming back towards that adding value.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I've had different conversations with people and they're like, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And they have this negative outlook on life. And so when I found my purpose, it was like infuse positivity and enthusiasm into everything that you can do.
Right.
And my simple purpose now defined that I've been able to tie into is I'm a world changer. I will influence the world to understand that they have a choice and they have the ability to make a decision in what they want to do throughout their life. They're not governed by any situation, circumstance, whatever the case is. At the end of the day, they have a choice and they have the ability to make a choice.
Yeah, for sure. And there are so many opportunities out there for everyone to do that. And the only thing that I feel is limiting is your beliefs and where you've come from, and you think that they hold you back, but really they are nothing really. You just need to keep pushing forward.
Yeah, totally agree.
So what sort of beliefs did you have to overcome when you were going through all your businesses, or did you always have that kind of mindset that you knew you could do it?
Sure. I actually overcame quite a few different limiting beliefs, so a little bit of background on me, I was adopted as a child. My family, my parents, I love them to death. And that's really where I was able to infuse some of that entrepreneur mentality. Growing up, my mom was diagnosed with a disease called lupus, which is an immune disease similar to MS. And so my dad really had to take on this role and this responsibility of, providing for the household, but also being there for us as kids as we were growing up.
Yeah.
And because of his entrepreneur lifestyle, I said, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. I've seen what he's been able to do with it. And I know that that's what I want to do too.
Yeah.
But for myself, I think a lot of people face these beliefs too, but it really comes back down to, can I do it? Am I enough to have what it takes to be successful? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
And it's so hard and so difficult for many people to really understand that, because they feel like, well, what are people going to think of me? Or, I have this great idea, but I don't know how to start. Or what can I do to really become better?
Yeah.
And the way that I've overcome a lot of these beliefs is just been spending time working on myself. As I posted that post a little while ago, I've spent, I don't even know how many tens of thousands of dollars on building myself. And I'm not saying that everybody has to do that. However, you talk about mentorship and really becoming better. And a lot of my mentors, whether they be physical relationships or whether they be from books that I've read, different autobiographies or different stories of historical figures and people, I count those as mentors, because I take from their content and I apply it to my life to develop myself and overcome those challenges and those beliefs. So, to pinpoint it, I think the biggest ones that I had to overcome were, am I good enough? The fear of success. Am I the type of person that can handle that success and continue to take care of my family, take care of my wife, and really be engaged? Because, I think the other fear that a lot of people have is, well, if I'm an entrepreneur, then I have to work like all these crazy hours and, I'm not going to spend time with my family. And, sure, there's going to be moments where you're going to have to make sure that your business is operating. But that's the reason I chose to be an entrepreneur, was because I could have a family and a lifestyle.
You can also have that freedom, right? It gives you more freedom, more time, and more financial freedom also to spend that time with your family. But I'm sure it requires a lot of hard work in the beginning though, but I think it's worth it.
It does.
Yeah.
And that's, you're right on the money. Work ethic is the key. If someone had to sum up, what got you to where I am today, it would be sheer insane work ethic.
Yeah.
Will Smith talks about it in, I don't know if you've seen any of his videos that he's done, but he talks about how, if I get on a treadmill, at the end of the day, I'm going to outrun and just kill anybody on that treadmill, because I'm going to work harder than anybody else is. Yeah. I will die trying.
Yeah. So you have to go that extra mile, right?
Exactly.
Very cool. So I saw on your Facebook, your mission is to empower 1 million people to change the world by taking action on their dreams. So is that your mission that you sort of live by?
That is.
So how do you see that, like, the online world is helping you with this mission? Because I know 1 million people is quite a lot. So do you use like technology and online to connect with all these people, and how do you see it in the future helping your business?
Great question. I'd say first, I'm the type of person that I love being able to interact with people. right? I mean, where I thrive is being able to have an audience and engage with that audience and get them to ask questions and really be a part of a conversation. What online and social media and all these different platforms has done for my business as well as myself has given me a worldwide connection, which I didn't have before. I mean, I think of just this interview, you know, I mean, how did we connect? It was through Instagram, right? And then we started a dialogue, and then we said, hey, look, how can we add value to each other? And that is how you can create a business. It comes back down to, you know, what can it really do? The pinpoint direct aspects of growing your business. Well, it's first add value. Then as you develop a relationship and you have something that's long-term, then you can say, okay, look, these are the products that I have. These are the services that I have. How can I help you through using these services and products?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I suppose different people will have different ways they can add value depending on their life experiences as well. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the things I love that you mentioned that, is everybody has a story, right? Everybody has something within themselves that they've had to overcome, trials, challenges, obstacles, but then also successes and positive points. And the beauty of what social media has done, and even what you're doing with this group, is allowing people to collaborate, to bring all those collective experiences together, and then to move forward, you know, one step at a time. And that's powerful. Because how can you have an outreach like that unless you're traveling around the world every single day, you know, meeting with different people, posting different events, but you can connect with anybody through different platforms. It's pretty powerful.
That's really cool. So for people that are trying to make a change in their life and trying to develop a lifestyle where they can live with purpose, what would be some of your top tips that you can offer them to start taking that action in their lives?
First question I would ask would be, what books are you currently reading? And the reason why is, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, and what I mean by that is really, you've got to take what other people have done and the successes that other people have done and infuse those into your life to help you find out where you are at that current moment, what your purpose is, and how to move forward with it, right? So what books are you reading? And if you're not, then that's your red flag number one.
Do you have any recommended books that you recommend?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the number one top pick would be Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
I read that. Well, I listened to it actually, audiobook.
Audible. And that works too. I mean, if you're driving a lot, or you're out and about, listen to Audible. It's the best.
That's so great.
To listen to books. I mean, I've done, I don't know, probably 300 plus books over the last year or two. From listening to them, reading them, whatever the case is, right? So Think and Grow Rich would be a top one. The One Thing by Gary Keller is a fantastic book. And what that one focuses on is, I don't know if you're like I am, but I have the entrepreneur syndrome where it's shiny objects. I go, oh, hey, this is cool. This looks cool. This looks like great business. You know, I'm always jumping around. And sometimes I forget that sometimes in order to have the success that you want and to grow on scale is to just focus on one thing, pick that one priority. And the way that he phrases it, he says, what is the one thing that you can do? So by doing that, it will eliminate all of the unnecessary things, or it will help you to accomplish that thing that much faster. Right. And so that's a fantastic book too. Another one that I would recommend would be, there's too many. I don't know. What I'll do is I'll post it for you.
Okay, cool.
Add it to the video. There's too many to think of.
Oh, my internet connection's unstable apparently. Oh yeah, here we go. Cool. So what were your other tips that you had for people? So and then.
So the first one would be just take action. So it's going to sound crazy, but if you've got an idea and you have something that you want to pursue, whatever the roadblock or the obstacle is at that moment, it's just up here. It's a mindset thing where you are limiting yourself from achieving success. The biggest opponent you have is not the people out there in the world or your competition. It's you. Right? You're shadow boxing yourself.
Yeah, and I
And you have
suppose
to
how you
figure out,
think about that competition as well, because you think they're above you and you think they're these superhumans, but really they're just the same as you, but they believe in themselves.
exactly. And that's the only difference, right? The only difference from the people that are successful, from the people that, want to be successful, from the entrepreneurs, are that they take action and they have belief. And
Yeah.
it's going to take time. A lot of people, I was talking to a good friend of mine who's built up a pretty fascinating company in the social media marketing, website development space. And as we were talking, he's like, a lot of people think being an entrepreneur means you have to make millions and millions of dollars right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's cool. That's great. And we all want to get there.
Yeah.
But the reality is the first dollar that you make as an entrepreneur is changing the future outcome of what you can do with your life and where you can go and the influence that you can have on the world.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think a lot of times we lose focus. Like, you've got to have goals and you've got to have this vision of where you want to go. But you also have to realize that it's going to take stepping stones to get there.
Yeah. And celebrating those small wins, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're going to get caught in this mindset, in this thing of, oh my gosh, like, I'm never doing good enough. I can't do this. But then you look back and you go, look at all of the success that I've had, and look at all the people's lives that I've changed through doing what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what is the purpose of life? I mean, let me turn this around and go, what is the purpose of life to you?
To me, I suppose just to live my life happy every day. So instead of waiting for weekends or holidays or even retirement, say, just to feel alive every single day and to give back to people and help people to achieve the same. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're right on the money, right? That's what the purpose is. The purpose is to find joy, to find happiness in life.
Yeah.
And how many people are unhappy because of their work situation or a family situation, or, there's the list is on and on and on and endless. But the reality is you can find happiness in your life, true, unbelievable, sheer happiness by the choices that you make.
Yeah.
And the decisions that you have leading up to those points. You know what I mean? And so that's really where you can find your purpose and find out where you can have that success and really developing yourself. Is you've got to think deep. You've got to dig deep inside and say, what is it that is going to make me happy? And not, oh, more money or this, because grass is greener on the other side always.
Yeah.
But what is going to truly make you want to get out of bed every morning and put on, your put on your clothes, put on your shoes, and actually go out there and hit the pavement? What is going to make you do that? And that's what your purpose is. That's what your driver is.
All about defining that why, right? Like, why are you doing this? It's not just so you can have more money. It's what the money is going to enable you to do. Like, will it enable you to spend more time with your family, to travel the world, and using that why to empower you to take action, like you said.
Exactly. And I think that's a really hard thing for a lot of people to do too, is how do they define that why? Like, how do you figure out how to really narrow it down to a single scope? And my advice to that would be, just ask yourself questions. The key to my success has been posing questions to the standard, to the status quo. I mean, that is how you overcome any challenge you have. I mean, as an entrepreneur, in my opinion, the definition of an entrepreneur is someone that is a problem solver. They look for a problem and they figure out a solution.
Yeah.
Right. So defining your why and defining your purpose really comes back to defining yourself as a human being. What is it that makes you tick? What questions do you have to ask yourself to really pull that out and I don't even a good term to describe it, but really extract it from yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, those questions can be defined by, let me think about this for a second, but what value do I have to add to the world? What value do I have to add to the person down the street? I mean, for me, some of the happiest moments in my life have just been opening a door for somebody and seeing the smile on their face, because that doesn't happen every day.
No. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It comes back to the kindness aspect. And so that's what makes me tick, is finding those little tiny simple things that I can get very, very good at duplicating and being consistent at.
Yeah.
And that is what creates growth. That's what creates progression.
Yeah.
So that would be another tip, would be consistent. Do the small and simple things that you can be consistent at. Bite the elephant. You know, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? That's what you have to think, is one small, simple thing that you do today that you can be consistent at for a very long period of time is going to create your success.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I like how you said that, to find your why and to find your purpose, you really need to go inside and just to see, you know, what your values are and what makes you tick, and to use those to show the world and to create a lifestyle around that, because that's when you're really going to make a change in people's lives, when you're speaking from your truth and what means a lot to you, and not trying to be what someone else is or what the world wants you to be yourself and to let your inner self shine. Yeah.
No, you're right on the money. And a lot of times, you know, I think we get so caught up in what's everybody else doing, but the reality is people want to see authenticity.
Yeah.
The more authentic you are and the more real that you are, the more you're going to connect with your audience. You're going to connect with your customers. You're going to connect with everybody. You know, if something goes bad, then own up to it and, you know, help them help you move forward.
Yeah.
Get that customer engagement and that feedback. And I think a lot of that's what's missing a lot in customer service today, is people are going away from, okay, here's my product, here you go, good luck. But it's really, you know, you have a situation. How can I help you help me help you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And because if you can turn that situation into a collaborative aspect where you're bringing the customer in to your mastermind of how you're going to develop and grow your company, that customer is going to be like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to stick with this person forever. I'm going to
they
be
want to be involved. Yeah.
Because they're now involved. They have ownership in what you're doing. They have ownership in your purpose and your vision of what you're going to accomplish as a business owner, as a person, you know, as an influencer.
Yeah. Very cool. Awesome. It's awesome stuff there. Thank you so much for coming on board with this. I think we can wrap this up now. How can people contact you if they wanted to learn more about what you do? Or chat to you?
Yeah, just hop on all social media platforms. My handle is just @thebigdeals.
Yeah.
And I'm on, you know, just connect with me there and I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. And whatever value I can add to anybody in this group and anybody who sees this video, I'm more than happy to do it. So just reach out to me and I'm happy to help.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on board. I really appreciate all your experience and all your insight that you shared with us, and not just for the group, it really helps me as well to move forward. Yeah. So thank you. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. See ya.
Thanks.